the committee come up here with me? I would appreciate it. Connie, Deb, Sandy, where's Karen? Karen, come on, get up here. And Cindy. This won't take long, and then we're gonna eat. So first I want to welcome all of you to our 50th reunion, which we are celebrating. 50th, no? We're celebrating our 50th reunion, delayed a year. Okay? So, we started this process in spring of 2019, so it's been a long time coming. It was challenging because, sorry, I'm having Ginger video this.
We've got good feet.
Okay.
Good feet.
So, the problem was we hadn't had a reunion in 20 years. And a lot of people retired, and they moved, and they got rid of their home phone numbers, and they didn't have email 21 years ago. So it took about a year and a half to find everybody that we found. So, but we found you. We're glad that you're here. And I want you to have a good time. That's what this is all about. I made it very casual, and I told the committee we were going to be very casual, but we're going to be classy, because we're a classy class. If you haven't already gotten your name tags, I think are there any left?
Only 3.
Only 3 left, okay. And let's see. We were, and I said this morning at the bench dedication, we were an extraordinary class. I don't know of a class such as ours that came out of Wilmington High School. I mean, we were kind people, there weren't a lot of cliques, we interacted with each other, and when there was a need, we stepped up. And I think that's still the case, 51 years later. And I congratulate you for that. If you weren't at the bench dedication this morning, it went off. I mean, it is so cool. If you haven't been over to the high school and you didn't attend that, go over and see it, because it's a sight, a good sight. And in fact, the principal, Scott Malpin, said that that whoever put on the prom this year borrowed our bench as their photography area inside, because it hadn't been bolted down yet. But it's bolted down now. He said that's the only year they're going to get to use it for prom. Speaking of, I can't believe the generosity of our class. I mean, that was a commercial bench. It was expensive. And then I wanted us to get credit for it. And I guess I wanted us to get credit for it, but I wanted to set a model for future classes. What can be done if you work hard and if you love where you came from. So hopefully this will teach other classes that, you can give back even after 50 years to the place where you started. I asked the editor of the Free Press to hopefully have a reporter, and he said, well, we only have one reporter and me. He said, I doubt it. But if you write an article and you send me pictures, I will publish it in the Free Press. So I've already written the article. And Bruce is taking pictures. So we will have what my committee called a good feel article, giving us credit. And again, hoping to set a model for future classes, whether it's the class of 2010, 15, or the class of 1990. We only have one faculty member here tonight. There were several here last night, but Marcia Malott was the chorus director. Her and her friend Jack are here.
That means I'm the oldest.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
You didn't have to say that, because I wasn't going to say it. But be proud of those years, because you had an impact on all of us. You and Sharon Levy and Roy Levy and Kent Moon. All of our teachers had an impact in one way or another and helped us shape our lives, the foundation of where we came from. Bruce Bly, the guy with the camera, He was not gonna come to the reunion. He's Debbie's spouse.
I was gonna give him a pass, and Becky said, wait.
And he wasn't gonna come, and Deb told me that, and I said, okay, I slept on it overnight, and I called her back, and I said, do you think Bruce would come if I gave him a job? And he had just walked into the room, and she said, well, let me put it on speaker. I'll never forget the conversation. I said, Bruce, will you come to our reunion if I gave you a job to do? And he goes, what kind of job? I said, taking pictures, which he's a fabulous photographer. If you're on Facebook and his friend, he is a fabulous photographer. He said, yeah, I can do that. He said, but I don't want to have to identify who the person is. I said, no problem. I already got that figured out. I bought an SD card. I'm going to give you the SD card at the beginning of the weekend. You give it back to me at the end of the weekend. I'll do all of that. So he's going to be going around taking pictures. If you have a cell phone and you want him to take a picture of a selfie that can reach a little farther out than their arm can, then it might come out better. So he'll be available for all of that. Speaking of pictures, at the end of this, I'm going to ask through email to have you guys send me pictures of what you took on your cell phone. So it'll just be a little more inclusive, I think. And then once I get home, I'm going to take that SD card and I'm going to upload them into my computer. I am then going to send some out on Facebook, send some out by email. But I'm going to upload all of the pictures, which I suspect will be somewhere between 500 and 1,000, including everybody. I'm going to make a Shutterfly book. And I've done this numbers and numbers of times. When I travel overseas, I always make a book of my trip. And I can then email the book to everybody that has an email. You can look at it. If you want to buy it, you can buy it directly from Shutterfly. Okay? I would wait for the sales, though. They have numerous sales throughout the year. And tonight, we're going to do a drawing for all the classmates that are here. Late as always.
We had another party we had to go to.
Oh, okay, come on in, come on in, find a seat. We're gonna give away a book tonight to some lucky classmate. You will get a free Shutterfly book.
Don't walk in front of the camera. I'm going.
I love your belly. I love your belly.
What do you got on the back of your shirt? Okay, Dave, that's okay. So somebody's gonna get a free book tonight. Now, granted, it's going to take me probably a couple months to filter and organize and stuff, but you will eventually get it. And then I'll email it out. And again, you can look at it. If you want to keep it, then you buy one. The class doesn't get anything for it. Tonight we have the DJ from Upbeat Events. He's from Braidwood. He did Sandy's wedding in December.
Purple and white for you guys.
He did. Specifically, yeah. And there's a couple of things around telling anybody how to get a hold of him.
And I
But
got cards too.
and he's got cards. And he will take requests. Sandy put together a song list. It's mostly 60s, 70s, and 80s music.
I don't think it's any 80s. I think it's all 60s and 70s.
Okay, 60s and 70s. I'm corrected. So feel free to dance. I did put a restriction on it though. No conga lines. I am not going to have an ambulance come out here and take somebody away with a broken hip or a wrenched knee or something. So, let's see. Now the committee: Debbie Lamb Bly, Sandy Nickel Mahalik, Connie Heggie Mann Baker, Karen Rutledge Mann, and Cindy Stroud Bennett. They've been invincible. They've helped me so much. Now, I did a lot of the work, but I couldn't have done it.
She did all.
No. They were my sounding board. I have the technical skills, and I will tell you, over the last 2.5 years, I've had a great time. I call a person thinking I'm going to talk to them 15, 20 minutes, and it's a 2-hour call just to catch up, which has been great. you know, some of the people could come and some of them couldn't. So, and I wanted to give them some credit because they helped a lot, and I also want to give them the opportunity to say any additional welcoming.
I've known Becky after high school a lot. She not only put in 1 or 2 hours, she's put in 500 hours at least talking to people on the phone.
I like to talk on the phone.
Yeah. But she's also makes spreadsheets, and we had everything handed to us. So she needs a round of applause.
Yes.
Did a nice job.
I have two topics real quick. If you did not give me a fun fact yet and you would like to share one, there are cards and a pencil and you can put it in here. And throughout the evening, I will read and see if you can guess who this fun fact is about. And so if you haven't done that yet, I'll give you, a few minutes and then I'm gonna just go with what we have, and we have some fun things. So it's interesting to see what you've been doing. And again, if it's just simply the fact that you love to raise goats, or you wish you could, that's great. My other thing is, at our graduation, I was one of the 2 speakers from our class, and my, speech, and I'm sure you didn't hear it at all, but I remember that it was titled, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life," and we thought, as a class motto, we thought we invented it. Of course, now it's on every t-shirt you want or something, but, we were looking forward. Make today the rest, the rest is best. So tonight, while we're spending a lot of time remembering the fun experiences we had in high school, I still want you to think about the fact that tonight is the first day of the rest of our life, and make it a fun night. So have a good time.
I just want to also say thank you to Becky. I came onto the committee as a latecomer about 6-7 months ago, and I've had a blast. I've enjoyed helping where I could and giving input if she wanted it or not. But thank you, Becky, for everything. It was a great time when I came to Florida with my family. You met me, picked me up, we had dinner, we talked about the reunion and old times, and I also would just like to have one more round of applause for Becky because we couldn't have done this without her.
I had a blast, and I love to talk on the phone. So, wanted to remind people we do have a Sunday lunch tomorrow between 11:30 and 1:30 at the Route 66 Bar and Grill on Baltimore and what's that? Main Street, I think it is. Yeah, it's the old Kurt's Food Market. The meal is on your own, but we have one other person coming tomorrow. She was not able to join us last night or tonight. Jeannie Swick will be here. She's had some health problems and is on kidney dialysis, and she has dialysis on Fridays and Saturdays, but she's making the effort and she's coming tomorrow. So if you want to see Jeannie, and I've kept in touch with her since the last reunion. She was one of our great singers, for one, great voice. So if you want to see her, she'll be there. And lastly, where's Phil? Phil West is, I think this is your first reunion, isn't it, Phil? He is going to do the blessing before we start eating. So, Phil?
Yeah, she said I was the only one in the class that looked like a pastor, so I get to pray.
I did. Debbie and I both came up with the same name.
So I invite you to pray with me if you would. Gracious God, we thank you for bringing us to this night, which is in itself something big for us. Thank you for all the good things that will come to us as a result of our meeting, and I especially want to ask you to reward and bless Becky and the committee for their work to put this together, their planning, tracking us all down, organizing, and then planning and organizing all over again because of COVID. And I ask you to bless Marcia and all of our other teachers. Maybe she'll give some good word about us to the others so that they'll think that they did not waste their time on us in the 70s. We ask also that you would bless our spouses and partners and friends who have come here to share our joy and to hear our stories about the great old days. And most of all, Lord, I ask you to bless us, the members of the class of 1971, that you would give us warm conversation, that you would give us laughter and joy, shared wisdom, perhaps some inkling of your presence, and that you would nourish us by this meal that's been prepared for us. I ask all these things through the name of your holy child, Jesus. Amen.
Okay, I think, are we ready for the buffet? Okay. So the, on the far left-hand side, you start, we're having